Hello everyone and welcome to Module 1, Lesson 1, which is Relationships as Measuring Rates. Go ahead and write that title down, Relationships as Measuring Rates, as well as your title or your label, Module 1, Lesson 1. And remember, anytime throughout this video, if I'm moving too fast, you can always hit pause, copy down what you need to. So on to the next slide. Before we get started into the math part, you do need to have these vocabulary words written down. The first vocabulary word is a ratio, which is an ordered pair of numbers that are not both zero, written as A to B, where A is the first number and B is the second. Your second vocabulary word is an equivalent ratio, which is two ratios that express the same relationship between numbers. My example is 3 to 6 and 2 to 4, because 3 to 6 can simplify to 1 to 2, and 2 to 4 can also simplify to 1 to 2. So they're just like equivalent fractions, but instead of written as a fraction, they are written as a ratio. Now, your last three words are rate, unit rate, and unit. Instead of giving you definitions, we're just going to label the 25 miles per hour. We're going to label the difference in all of those. So, first of all, the rate is the whole thing. So, the 25 miles per hour is your rate. Okay? Your unit rate is going to be just the 25. So your unit rate. And then your unit is going to be the actual unit of measure. So in this case, that's going to be miles per hour. Okay, so we have the rates, the whole thing. The unit rate is just the number, and the unit is the unit. So in this case, miles per hour. Again, pause it if you need to get these down, but I am going to move on to the next slide. So, finding rates. I do want you to write the title of this slide down, Finding Rates, and the 2 bullet points. To find rate from ratio, AB, just divide. And if you look at the second bullet point, it says A divided by B equals the rate. You do not have to copy down the table. I'm just going to fill it in to explain something to you. So I'm going to give you just a second to write down those 2 bullet points, and then we'll move on. Okay, so onto this table. We're going to pretend that today in class there were 24 of you, and I was trying to pass out papers to each one of you and was trying to see how fast I could pass out your papers. So let's look right here at trial 1, and it shows that I passed out 24 papers in 12 seconds. So my ratio in papers to time would be 24 to 12. So my rate, notice the second bullet point up here. It says A divided by B equals rate. So for my rate, to find out what is the rate at which I passed out these papers, we would do 24 divided by 12. And what does that equal? Hope you all know this. It equals 2. Now, remember, whenever we talk about the rate, we talk about the whole thing. So we have to include the unit, which is, in this case, our unit is going to be papers per second. Excuse the poor handwriting. It's hard to squeeze in that little box. But your answer is going to be 2, because we just divided. So our unit rate is going to be what? Our unit rate is going to be just that 2. right? So remember, for the unit rate, all that you are using for the unit rate is the number. Okay, so let's move on to trial number 2. If I passed out my papers, if I passed out 24 papers in 10 seconds, my ratio would be 24 to 10. So my rate, I would do 24 divided by 10, and 24 divided by 10 is going to be 2.4. I'm going to abbreviate here, papers per second. Right? So remember the difference in the rate and the unit rate. The rate has the unit rate is just the number. So in this case, it's just going to be 2.4. Okay, last one, we're going to look at trial number 3. And on trial number 3, I passed out 24 papers in 8 seconds. So go ahead and take a second and think about what the ratio should be. The ratio is going to be 24 to 8. So my rate, just like the other ones, I divide 24 by 8. 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3. Again, I'm going to abbreviate the papers per second, so this does not fit. And so my unit rate, remember, is just that number, so 3. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys a few examples. Remember, you do not have to copy down the table, but we are moving on to our example slide where you do need to copy down. Go ahead and write the title of this slide, examples number 1 and 2. Copy down the directions, find the rate and unit rate. And A says we have 480 miles in 6 hours. Again, pause the video if I'm going too slow, but I am going to move on. So in order to find the rate and the unit rate, we're going to set up the ratio first. So we have 480 miles to 6 hours. So remember, to find the rate from the ratio, we divide. So our next step, that was the first step. Our next step is going to be to divide 480 by 6, which, think about it, what does that equal? It's going to be 80. And remember, because it asks specifically for the rate, we have to put in the units. So you do have to say miles per hour. So if the rate is 80 miles per hour, what is the unit rate going to be? It's going to be just 80. Remember, just the number is the unit rate. Okay, so let's look at this second example. We have $9.96 for 2 pounds. So again, our first step is still the same. $9.96 to 2 pounds. Let me fix that real quick. To 2 pounds. So we wrote our ratio first. The next step is we have to divide. So we're going to divide $9.96 by the 2 pounds to tell us what is the price per pound. So 9.96 divided by 2 is going to be $4.98. Now typically you guys would write a little dollar sign here, but we're about to write out the unit, and the unit would be dollars per pound. Okay, and again, I am abbreviating. You know what? Let's write that correct abbreviation. Hopefully you guys know this. The abbreviation for pound is LB. So $4.98 per pound. So make sure that on this slide you have everything written down, what I've typed and also what I have written. So last slide, which is your try it problem. And remember, all of you promised me that you would actually try it. So please go ahead, pause the video, copy down all of this that you see right here. the try it, the find the rate and unit rate, and also 240 customers in 12 days. Click pause, find the answer, then hit play to see if you've got it correct. So, let's go ahead and go over the answer. Remember, our first step is to write that ratio. Our ratio is going to be 240 to 12. Our second step, we are going to divide to find our rate and unit rate. So, 240 divided by 12 is going to be 20. I'll write all that out. Now, sometime soon, I will be getting some calculators for us to use in class. I do not expect you to know all of this math off the top of your head. But 240 divided by 12 is 20. So that's going to be 20 customers. Whoops. Let's just fix that all together. I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to this, just like you are. So 20 customers per day. So this right here, remember, is going to be the rate. So if all of this is the rate, what is the unit? Or what is the unit rate? This 20. That will be our unit rate. So on Thursday in class, we are going to apply this. We will be doing a little bit more complicated problems, but what I need you just to have a little understanding of whenever you come to class on Thursday is what a ratio is, how ratios work, and how to find a unit rate and a rate from a ratio. So like I said, we'll apply this. Please ask me questions on Thursday, or if you watch this video before Wednesday, you can ask me in class anytime. So have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you all tomorrow.